Alright friends, it is time. Are you ready to see what my favorite read was of 2025? And not just mine, but what you felt was the best Shoujosei debut of 2025. Hello friends, happy Friday. So very excited to be here, so excited to film this video, but I want to give you a quick apology. I know during my 25 days of shoujo manga last month that I kept promoting and saying the Shoujosei wrap, and then if you saw my community posts, you know unfortunately that's probably not coming. I do feel that is very certain it's not. I did something to my back and I have not had the best posture when I'm video editing, if I'm honest, and it's causing some pretty intense pain in my hand. It is better. I can actually make a fist now and not be in like excruciating amount of pain. It still hurts though to make a full fist like that. So I'm doing exercises, doing research of what I can to, you know, be a better human and not be a painful human. That leads me to say I am just not capable physically of making the amount of graphics it would take to do the Shoujosei rap video. I am truly so sorry. It was really hard to come to terms with that, but I do want to say I want to share all the information that I have basically compiled throughout the year. So I'm gonna have two different spreadsheets. The first one is the overwhelming one. It is not very pretty, but you will find every single license announcement throughout 2025, every release of every manhwa, light novel, audiobook, series that ended, series that debuted, all of that information, all of the numbers basically, because that does have the total release number. I think there was, if I remember right, we had like 804 releases, all the publishers to the best of my ability to count and do math, because the numbers, your girl was struggling with the math, okay? So that was to the best of my ability. So if you want to see all of the numbers, but on the flip side, if you'd rather see the much prettier rainbow color coded spreadsheet and much more organized, and I have it broken down by different, was it sheets where its debuts, series ended, and licenses, I believe, that would be the best one. I have it written out by title. Hopefully between the both of those, it will be very helpful just to see how it was. I know in the first spreadsheet, I also have the information of all the numbers for 2024 and all of the licenses as well. So if you want to compare those, you are more than welcome to. I'll keep it up for however long I'm hoping to track this year, and that things will be different and I can actually do a Shoujosei wrap. But before I go into doing my bracket for manga, manhwa, I'm probably just going to show you the bracket because I didn't consistently read manhwa for all the 12 months, because yes, we're going through each month what my favorite was, and then we'll put that in the bracket and go through and see what the ultimate favorite read was of 2025. But going back to the form that you guys filled out, it was sort of long. I asked about what you felt the best shoujo, best josei, best steamship, light novel, manhwa, and I think it was like collector's edition or new edition. So let's go through it real quick. Now I'm gonna hopefully make some pretty graphics after I film this video, so if it's a little bit weird because I wanted to actually see the results live with you, I have seen them. I don't remember them because that was like pre-flu, and then we had that 2 weeks of sickness in my family, so I'm like, I don't remember any of the stats at all. I don't remember. So we had 89 people that voted, and truly thank you so much to everybody who voted. I really hope you enjoyed doing this. I do definitely for sure want to do this next year. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. What shoujo manga do you feel was the best debut of 2025? And the results are pretty staggering, honestly. It's really cool to see. Coming in first place was Fall in Love You False Angels, and I love to see it because I feel like dessert manga just gets so much controversy unexpectedly on Twitter. Like, you have people who really love it, and then you have people who really just hate on it. And I get, you know, not every person's gonna like every manga from every magazine. Even my favorite that has Glass of the Chance of Delinquent, I don't love every single manga that's in there, but it is very odd to me that just for dessert specifically, you have such extremeness for both sides. So that was pretty cool to see. And then coming in second was The Failure at God School, and I find this even more shocking just because if you are on Twitter, you might have seen the post saying originally that it was like, is Honey Lemon Soda selling well, because now it's like a 7-month gap between the releases. This led some people going onto this website, which I will leave here in the corner or somewhere on the screen, where people were like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And it was true that I feel, at least for me personally, I went and looked up the numbers because for Yen Press releases, you could see the original print runs for all of the volumes. They're out, I should say. And when we went over to the Failure at God School, the first print one for volume 1 was 8,000 volumes. For volume 2, it was saying 800. Yes, 800. So it went from 8,000 to 800, and there was a lot of shock in the community about this, myself included. And I've seen few people say they really feel it's a typo. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's going to be sort of a waiting game to see what happens with the third volume. So I'm very happy to see it on here. And if you did see my video on Wednesday of my top 5 debuts from Yen Press, I did include the Failure at God School. And then coming in third place is A Star Brighter Than the Sun. I thought it was Girl Crush for a second, but we'll get there in a moment. But Star Brighter Than the Sun, I'm very much not surprised by this one. I think I have a first impression on this channel. I need to catch up with my library, and I have to include a volume 4, or number 4, excuse me, Girl Crush. Yes, I'm so excited. I love it so much. And coming in 5th place was Choking on Love. I think that is very much deserved as well. I recently just got the latest volume. Haven't read it yet because I have been deep in Lovecom, very much enjoyed it, and I told myself I can't read any of my new releases until I finish Lovecom. I will say, I was going to say earlier, and I was like, wait, let's go through the top 5. I was shocked to see we have some that didn't get any votes. And that was I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons, My Fiance Cheated, But a New Love Rings, which I've actually wanted to read that. And then the last one was Fluffy Eared Restoration, I think is the title. I can't see it on my screen right now. Yeah, I'm very surprised, and hopefully with all of the numbers here, hopefully you're seeing some of your favorite series that are on here. You're like, man, they did really well. I was pleasantly surprised to see Reincarnating a Mafia Dating Sim doing getting a lot of votes as well. It takes more than the Pretty Face to Fall in Love. Like, yes, 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 yes. Very, very excited to see that. But let's go on to the Josei manga and what you guys felt was the best one. And when you instantly look at the graph or the numbers, Firefly Wedding, number 1 easily with 39 votes. I think from start to finish, honestly, it just completely dominated. And again, that's another one I'm not surprised. I believe the final chapter just came out this week or next week, like in Japan, excuse me. I hope that it ended on a strong note. I've seen a few spoilers, and I'm not really ready to see what the final chapter holds. Number 2, Snow Angel. So much love for this series. I believe it's a 4-volume series. I did do a first impression of volume 1. I think I will wait for the series to end and then come back to it because it was a pretty hard read. It was pretty emotional. But for 3rd place, we got a 3-way tie. Takahashi from the Bike Shop, Jean Bride, and Veil. Yes, Veil, Veil, Veil. We love to see it. I absolutely love Veil. Easily one of my favorite debuts of 2025. I mentioned that in my video at Patreon and channel members. I love it. It is so good, and I'm very glad to see it was in the top 3. And then number 4 is Pink Candy Kiss. I know a lot of people were very excited that this got licensed, and it's good to see that it's doing well. The covers are always so pretty. I really like how they're doing, like, I think the latest cover is green, but the first one was like pink, and we had like an orange cover. Looks like for this one, there was only one that didn't get any votes, and that is Mocha the Cat and His Forever Family, I think is the name of that. I'm not surprised, and I maybe don't feel like that's probably accurate that say nobody likes it, mainly because I believe it released at the very end of December, so it released before I closed the form, but there might have not really been anybody who had read it at the time of voting. Now, Steamship, I decided to make a separate category because I know for my channel, I don't cover or review Steamship titles, but I have several friends who love the imprint, and I think it's an important imprint for female readers, so I did want to create some kind of section so that it could get some love as well, though when you see the numbers, 45% of people said they don't read Steamship, and when I saw that, I felt like, okay, that was a good call to make its own separate category. And this one I was really surprised because I think originally it came in first place, actually. Assassin and Cinderella, I think it was in the lead, and this is another one that really surprises me because when it first got physically licensed from Square Enix, there was so much upset that it got picked up, at least on Twitter. Most of the drama, you guys know, happens on Twitter, but there was so many people really angry and they felt this was a horrible story and that it shouldn't have been picked up. But the thing is since it has released, I do know a few friends who really, really love it. Like I know She Geeks Out. She included it in either her best shoujo manga video or best Josei video. She is one of the biggest fans I know of this series, and I really appreciate hearing her thoughts on it. And I'm not personally reading it. I think it's a little bit probably too spicy for me, but I do really like the covers. They are very cute and very colorful, and just very playful and cute. Coming in second place, though, oh, we got a tie. So Virgin Marriage, which I know a lot of people were really excited for this one on Twitter, and then the other one was Tease Me Harder. This one is sort of surprising because, yeah, I believe it released in December or November, and I don't remember seeing, I know one friend that had picked it up, but I don't really know anybody else who has, so that's cool to see it come in second place. And then we had a three-way tie again for third place with Seduced by the Demon King, Shindo-kun's Tight Squeeze, and Don't Hold Back Lord Hades. Lord Hades, I'm not surprised because there seems to be a lot of love for, oh gosh, what's the name of that mythology or that story? But with Hades, I've heard a lot of people say anything with Hades, they're going to try it out and give it a shot. And then what new edition or collection of manga do you feel was the best debut of 2025? Y'all, let me tell you, if there was any, I know I keep saying it's surprising, but genuinely, okay, if there is one thing that I have learned from this forum, from this poll that has happened, do not always trust the loudest voices you hear on social media because it probably is not going to accurately reflect the entire community. The reason I say that is, well, for number one was DNN Angel New Edition, rightfully deserved. Also featured this in my Yen Press video on Wednesday, and you're also going to see it popping up in my bracket. Absolutely worthy of number one. I'm so happy. But for number two, Nana 25th Anniversary Edition. This was in first place for a while. I do remember that, and that's where my shot comes in. A lot of people said that Viz, they were so unhappy that Viz gave us this. But at least 25 people from the 89 here, I know that doesn't represent the entire community, but that's a pretty large number considering so many people were really mad, but I've seen so much praise for these collector anniversary editions. People seem so happy. So it just reminds me that even though an Assassin Cinderella is another prime example of this, there might be a lot of outspoken negativity during license announcements. Thinking of my beautiful Daydream Darlings from Io Sakisaka that's coming out this year, that there may be a lot of negativity, but then when the original manga or when the manga is released, there's a lot of hype and excitement for it. So this was something good, I feel like personally for me in seeing that, and that just let that negativity roll off my back and just, you know, keep on going, having that love for them series that may, you know, not be getting most good or best kind of reception, even though it is hard when it doesn't get a positive reception originally. But yeah, third place is Pet Shop of Horrors, the collector's edition. I still want to read this. I know I featured it in, I believe it was, yeah, last month of Supernatural Paranormal Reads, so I'm very excited to see it's on here. Outside of the I don't read new editions of manga getting, you know, in I guess what, fourth place is They Were 11. Was very excited to see that. Still haven't read that, but I do feel that was like a really big deal, so happy to see that it got votes. And then for what manhwa do you feel was the best of 2025? I loved this one. I know technically for first place it says I don't read manhwa or prefer not to vote in this category. Totally respect that, but y'all know on this channel I absolutely love and adore manhwa. It is so good, and I am so happy. Oh my goodness! Okay, so we have a tie for first. Marriage of Convenience, which I would say I'm so happy for. I feel that is one of the best debuts we had for manhwa last year, but The Broken Ring, I think the subtitle is, yeah, this marriage will fail anyway. That is a big win for Inclure. I've been seeing a few friends who have been reading ahead past the physical volumes and are really enjoying it. So wow, that is really good. I'm happy about that, especially since I think that's the only one that they gave us this year. Now, they do have more coming this upcoming year, but Kill the Villainess was in second place. That was in the lead, though, for quite a bit, but yeah, definitely rightfully deserved. And then third place is The Villainess is a Marionette, which I need to catch up on because I liked volume 1, but it sort of came down to, do I want to eliminate something from my budget so I can get this? And I said, no. So, but I really liked what I read, and so I need to go see if my library has more volumes. Very surprised to see Winter Wolf on here. I did see several people pick that up though. And then for my final category that we have is what light novel or light novels do you feel was the best of 2025? And we had almost half of people say I don't read light novels or prefer not to vote in this category, but for first place was Villains Are Destined to Die, and I'm very happy with that number. I'm very happy with that. I'm not gonna be sad at all. For number two, The Two Perfect Saints. That is awesome. We got the anime last year. I've been back on that hype train for the manga. Third place, wow, is Secrets of the Silent Witch. Also very happy about that. 3 really, really good series. I'm so stoked for that. Yeah, these were the light novel numbers, A Sense of a Bookworm. I think that is the spin-off. Yes, it is about a different girl. Came in 11th place. So Sense of a Bookworm is going strong. I know we just got a new PV for it. I don't remember if I bookmarked it or not with all the bookmarks that I still need to share with you guys in the next manga news video. But I had 37 responses. I'm not going to go through them. I could tell you a few of them, but I got 37 different responses for titles I should review and have part of my event later this year. We have Cutie and the Beast. Oh, that's a cute one. I haven't finished that one. Firefly Wedding, The Lady and Her Butler, Yusatoki Rhetoric, Orisama Teacher, Let's Kiss in Secret Tomorrow, Chiya Hafuru, Kaze Hikaru. I'm like, oh, here's some long series if these win. Colette Decides to Die, My Next Life is a Villainous. Yod, yes. When We're in Love, Behind the Scenes. Oh, The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. Thank you for whoever nominated that. Kill the Villainous, Red River, Agents of the Four Seasons, Glass Mask, or The Poe Clan. Ooh, that's actually a really good one. I don't think we have Glass Mask in English, but The Poe Clan I actually think my library does have. Oh my goodness, manga recommendation from Captive Hearts of Oz if you like Alice in the Country of Hearts. Yes! Oh my goodness, Alice in the Country of Heart in 2026. Oh, that person was cooking. I don't know if you can see, no, I rearranged my manga and I put it so, oh, it's way down over there. But yes, I love Alice in the Country of Hearts. I've tried several spinoffs. I paid way too much for one of them, one of the single volumes that I have. Oh, Love at First Memory. That is one that I am planning to pick up. The Fight and Flight of the Sickly Villainous. Oh, I'm happy to see that. Hitting Rewind with You. Oh, Tear Moon Empire, Sheltering Eames, The World's Strongest Witch. Ooh, I haven't heard of that one. Okay, released in August 2025. Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. The one within the Villainous. Yes, if English release comes next year, yes, please. Please! I want that one so bad. Natsumi's Book of Friends. Oh, I'll Never Fall in Love with Amino-kun. Hana Kimi. I did find out my library actually has it. The Dark History of the Recard Villainous. Please, yes. Oh, it gets so intense after a few volumes. Yeah, that's one I feel like I really, really need to read. And then the, not last but least, because I didn't say all of them, but From General to Bride, Marry My Strongest Rival. I'd never heard of this one, but I actually did look this up and I added it to my wish list. So I hope, friends, that you're happy with the results. Truly, thank you so much for voting. Are you ready to see me work on these brackets to see what my favorite manga read was of 2025? I'm going to start with the manhwa because I'm not planning to do the full bracket. I don't remember if I said that, or at least I can tell you that I actually filled it out in advance. I have not done that with the manga one. So just very quickly for the manhwa, if you see, like looking at this, I have X's on certain months. That meant either I did not read manhwa that month or I read, say, like The Remarried Empress, where I was reading a few chapters and it wasn't a full volume. I put an X and I made it go automatically forward. Also, you may see that My Secretly Hot Husband didn't move forward against Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story. It won, if it wasn't last year for my favorite manhwa, it was the year before that. And I told myself that anything that won last year or the previous year could not move forward. They sort of forfeited because I didn't want to have duplicate winners, even if in my heart they're winning, okay? We'll tell you the one that I thought days about was Marriage of Convenience versus Raeliana. I really had to think about this because I really feel that Marriage of Convenience is one of the best manhwa releases we got last year, but Raeliana had such an amazing, impactful, and incredible ending, and just the story as a whole was so phenomenal. I mean, I've mentioned on this channel before that I am getting the novel, or the light novel that's releasing this year from Cross Hearts. I'm very excited. So in the end, after thinking so hard heard about it. I said Ray Liotta was going to be moving forward, and then to get a little bit closer to the full bracket, I said Villains Are Destined to Die is being out Dark Moon. I'm sorry, Dark Moon, but I love Penelope. And Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story, I knew for sure. I really enjoyed it, so I said that was moving ahead. And then Ray Liotta, Not So Wicked Stepmom was another hard choice, but ultimately I went with Ray Liotta. So I've got 3 faves right here. And since Villains Are Destined to Die won pretty much last year, I ultimately said Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story was my favorite manhwa read of 2025. And I felt confident, like I knew from the start that ultimately that was my favorite manhwa read, followed by Marriage of Convenience, even though looking at the bracket, it didn't, go that far. But Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story, I know I shared about in a previous reading wrap-up. I unfortunately do not know which one it was because I read it digitally and I read it across the weekend that it got licensed physically from Ice Press, and yes, I am picking it up. I really, really enjoyed it. When it says Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story, that feels like such a fulfilling title and fits this story so incredibly well. I was so thankful to be influenced on it. I was very sad actually when it ended on Webtoons, and I could not read anything on there because every time I came on there on the app, I said it's over, and I said, well, I'm still in denial of it ending and would get off. So I think for like 3 or 4 weeks, I did not read anything because I was like woefully behind on the Remarried Empress. I'm caught up on the Remarried Empress now, but man, the Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story is such a good one. I'm nice if you want something different, but I do think how the villain role is and things concerning the creator is very good, especially thanks to the creator. That is one of the most unique things I've ever seen in this genre, not just for villainous, but I would say in the whole reincarnation, like you've been reincarnated to a book kind of thing or a game. That was very, very well done, and I feel like it really posed some good and great questions, and even with the ending concerning everything was excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one I would highly recommend, and more than happy and excited that it is my favorite manhwa read of 2025. But if we go over to manga, y'all, it ain't gonna be that simple. It ain't gonna be that simple. So first I'll show you everything with this graphic here. Shout out to Margaret Mar Reads Manga who had made this. I made my reading bracket one. I just did a different background and used a friend's template for the bracket itself. Hopefully that made sense. But January, to nobody's surprise, Glass with a Chance of Delinquent. Yes, this one for my favorite read of 2025, but it's still on here. It won't win, unfortunately, but just know in my heart it won, okay? Just know in my heart. It is always number one. And then for February, Though I Am an Inept Villainess, so good. Excited that we got the confirmation of the anime. Gonna be streaming in April. We talked about that on Monday in my manga news video. For March, Veil, yes, absolutely wonderful. April, Tommen's B-side, like yes, that was so exciting. This was actually when I came back, I was influenced by my friend Lindsay and Kate to give it a second chance, and I got all of the volumes like from the library, and I absolutely loved it that second time. It hit, and I have been watching the anime, absolutely loved it. Actually, before filming this video, I watched the anime. It was so good. For May, Choking on Love, yes. June, Always a Catch. I don't know what volumes these are, by the way, for most of them, but Always a Catch, this volume was really, really good. July, Double the Trouble, twice as fun, fantastic. For August, Reincarnated in a Mafia dating sim, so good. September, Diary of a Female Lead, oh, there was a moment I was swooning. October, we got our punchy villainous, May I Ask for One Final Thing. November, Dean and Angel, and then in December, It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. So let's look at the bracket. Let's look at the bracket to have the bracket bracketing. Oh my goodness. So the first thing I have to do right away is my beloved Glasses cannot move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and move Sweet Rayron forward. So let's go to March and April. I love Tommen's B-side. I really do. But I'm going to be honest, it does not beat out Veil. Veil is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best licenses and best debuts that we got in 2025. Like, I will firmly stand behind that. I have unfortunately had several friends who were not a fan of it, but I'm like, no, it is awesome. It is my number one Josei read, I feel like, for 2025. Ooh, but May and June though, Choking on Love versus Always a Catch. Oh my gosh. What kind of bracket is that? Oh my goodness. I really love both of these for different reasons. I think I'm gonna go with Always a Catch because I really love Choking on Love, but the laughter and joy that Always a Catch has brought me with these volumes has been fantastic and wonderful. Really excited we're getting an anime of that. But Choking on Love, I feel it deserves an anime. And it's great. It is fantastic. You know, maybe this would be different if I had read volume 3 when it's not on my TBR pile, but I feel very confident Always a Catch right now. That is my final answer. And then for July and August, I'm sorry, Double the Trouble, but Recurring Mafia Dating Sim, it's moving forward, buddy. It is moving forward. I've loved this manga so much. It is one I've wanted to read for a very long time, knew nothing about it, and I'm like, this is what I want. It checked everything for me when I read it. I have a first impression on this channel as well. It was just so good. It was so good. For September and October, oh, Diamond Female Lead versus Scarlet. I'm sorry, Scarlet's going forward as well. There have been very few series that I have read in 2025 where I just could not stop thinking of them. May I Ask for One Final Thing was easily one of those series for me. I read the first 3, did a video review, and I just kept thinking over and over about it. I haven't caught up on the anime, mainly because I'm really enjoying the manga and sort of want to experience it first that way. But I can easily tell you that for any time I've seen a clip come across my feed, I watch it. I don't worry about the spoilers. I just watch it and appreciate it. Oh, November, December, Dean and Angel versus It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna go with Dean and Angel for this. I really love a pivotal moment that happens in volume 4 of Pretty Face. But Dean and Angel was such a magical, inspiring, awesome kind of story that I feel it has been a very rare experience for me this year to have that repeated in the fiction that I've read and the manga I've read. So let's go back up, and now it's Though I Am an In-It Villainess versus Veil. And I'm sorry, Rayron, but Veil is going. I'm so sorry. I have a new volume of that on my TBR too. I also have a video review of In-It Villainous. I loved it so much. Rayron is such a phenomenal character, but Veil, I'm sorry, Veil is just so amazing and so good. I love it so much. Always a Catch versus Recurring a Dating Mafia Sim. Let's skip that one for a second, okay? Let's skip that one for a second. Let's go down to the bottom. Scarlet versus Daisuke. Oh, Scarlet. Scarlet is, she moving forward on that one. I love that precious little being in Dean and Angel, but I'm sorry, I love Scarlet more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, we have to go back to Always a Catch and Recurring Mafia Dating Sim. This is such a hard one because both of these series are just so fantastic. Again, I really love them. I really want to say Always a Catch for the humor, but I love the characters. I love Francesca, and both of these characters can hold their own, though the male leads are vastly different. They're vastly different. I feel bad because I like Leonardo more than the prince in Always a Catch, even though he's so sweet. He's very precious as well. This is so painful. This is so painful. I'm gonna go with Recurring and Mafia Dating Sim. I'm gonna go with that one because even though I love both of these, I wish I could have like a 2-in-1 go forward. That would defeat the whole point of the bracket. And it's about to get harder. It's about to get harder. But I sort of went with, if Always a Catch went forward, would I be happy? I was like, but Recurring Mafia Dating Sim, I really want to move ahead. So that's ultimately, I guess, what pushed me over. But now we're between Veil, Recurring Mafia Dating Sim, and May I Ask for One Final Thing. Honestly, I would say these are my top 3 favorite reads of 2025. Like, that feels 100% accurate. But to go for the number 1, I've only read 2 volumes of Veil and Mafia Dating Sim. I've read 4 of May I Ask for One Final Thing. If I were just to base May I Ask for One Final Thing on the first 2 volumes, I really feel like that's the strongest because I like the ending of the arc that involves Saint Diana, but that arc itself was not my favorite. But the first arc was so good. With, what's his name? Nakama? Dude, this feels so much harder. I feel like with Glasses, I knew right away what instantly was my favorite read of the year. I think what's causing me the most problems right now is I told myself and I felt that Reincarnated in a Mafia Dating Sim would probably be my favorite read of 2025. but I don't think I can make it manga of the year. And I feel that is bringing me so much anguish. I mean, for Veil, I have bought different editions of the manga. For May I Ask for One Final Thing, I am double dipping. I've bought digital volumes and I've pre-ordered the first 3 volumes. So I feel like from a financial point, one of those two should be it. May I Ask for One Final Thing? I think I'm gonna go with it. I really feel that this was such a wonderful series, and Scarlet is just one of the most coolest heroines I've read about. Yeah! May I ask for one final thing? I came in thinking one thing, and ultimately I choose something else. Yay! I'm so happy. That is everything. That is my year for 2025, and what you felt were some of the best Shoujosei debuts of 2025. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video. Much agony at the end for me, but it was such a great time, and I would love to hear from you. Do you feel my reading bracket is accurate for what I made? Move ahead, you know, kindly share. You know, I'm not going to be bad. We all have different things, and I would love to know for you too. What was your favorite read of 2025? Regardless if it released that year or had been out for several years, or regardless if it released that year or not. I would just love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers to a wonderful 2026 full of plenty of amazing reads. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!